What you can see on screen right now is a video that I recorded back in 2016, 2 years ago. And in this video, I was going in on Eddie Hearn for basically hating on Al Haymon. He was sounding very bitter and jealous and petty and not giving Al Haymon enough credit for what he was doing with PBC. The video is still up. You can go watch it now. I'll leave a link to it in the description below. Why do I mention this video? Because it's an example of how I am loyal to no promoter. Understand this. A lot of other guys out here, they're loyal to particular promoters or advisors or whatever. Those advisors ain't paying your bills. Those advisors ain't putting money in your pocket. Those promoters, etc. So my loyalty lies with whoever's treating the fighters best and whoever's putting on the best shows. And that can change from month to month and week to week. A couple years ago, I liked what Al Haymon was doing. He was putting on a hell of a lot of shows on television for people to watch for free. I thought that would boost boxing massively in the United States. I thought it was great that he was putting on all these free shows. And I supported Haymon when he was being attacked by Bob Arum and Oscar De La Hoya and even Eddie Hearn, Kathy Duva, etc. Because Haymon was paying fighters well, he was treating them well, and he was giving the fans boxing for free. High-level boxing, world championship boxing. How can you not like that? All right? But as I say, things change. PBC has had to streamline and refine. And although I still like PBC, it didn't turn out as well as I hoped it would. So I've criticized Hearn in the past and defended Haymon. But at this juncture, Hearn is trying to launch this DAZN platform with regards to boxing in the United States. And there's a lot of hate against what Eddie Hearn is doing. There's a lot of suspicion. Eddie Hearn is falling victim to the fact that there's a rivalry between Joshua and Wilder, and this has made a lot of the American boxing fans very patriotic, and a lot of the American boxers have become very patriotic in the midst of all this going on. So Eddie Hearn is being attacked, and people are looking at him suspiciously on the strength of this Joshua Wilder situation. People are not really looking at what Eddie Hearn has to offer with a logical mind. Their view of Eddie Hearn is very skewed and biased. And there's the potential here that many fighters could actually miss out on a good deal because of the fact that they're blinded by this patriotism and all this kind of stuff. If I didn't think that DAZN was potentially a good platform for fighters, then I wouldn't be saying so. But I think it potentially is, because when I look at so many Al Haymon fighters, they have been inactive. Adonis Stevenson, just one example. Way too inactive. Because Haymon don't have the dates anymore, because he's not showing boxing on all the different networks that he was when PBC first launched. But yet he still has this enormous stable. He don't have enough TV dates to get the stable active. You know, a lot of them. So in comes Eddie Hearn with DAZN, and he can guarantee fighters regular fights. How could you hate on that? How could you look at that and hope that it fails? You're not a real boxing fan if you're hoping that that fails. I hope it succeeds, because more fighters are going to get paid and there's going to be more dates. It's not like Eddie Hearn is forcing people to sign these contracts. It's a take it or leave it situation. Eddie Hearn even said that he can sign fighters on a fight by fight basis. What's the problem with that? That's what he does with Dylan Whyte. That's what he does with Tony Bellew. Tony Bellew and Dylan Whyte do not have long-term contracts with Eddie Hearn. And I've seen some people say recently that Eddie Hearn's in a terrible situation right now because he just lost the purse bid for Dylan Whyte, Kubrat Pulev. Hasn't Al Heyman lost purse bids? Didn't he lose the purse bid for Deontay Wilder versus Povetkin? And that purse bid was only like $7 million or something. For a heavyweight champion, Al Heyman didn't bid more than $7 million. Right? So promoters lose purse bids. At the end of the day, winning a purse bid is not an indication of how much money you have, necessarily. The winning purse bid for Whyte versus Pulev was only like $1.5 million. You think Eddie Hearn doesn't have more than $1.5 million to bid? He's got way more than that. But Eddie Hearn is a businessman. He is not going to bid more than he thinks a fight is worth. That's why he didn't bid more than 1.5 million. He don't think the fight is worth that. And not only that, Dylan Whyte is not signed to a long-term contract with Eddie Hearn. Why is Eddie Hearn gonna go in his own pocket and put up millions and millions to win a purse bid when this guy Dylan Whyte is not even signed to him to a long-term contract? Let's say, occasionally promoters do take a loss on a fight because it's a power move to put themselves and their fighter in a better position, and then they can recoup and profit in the upcoming fights. But why are you going to do that? Why are you going to take a loss on a fight when the fighter is not even signed to you on a long-term contract? Because Dylan Whyte could take the money from Eddie Hearn. Let's say he beats Pulev, and then he could go join another promoter straight away and leave Hearn. You see? So Hearn is a businessman. He's not going to put up crazy money or multiple millions to win a purse bid for Dylan Whyte when Dylan Whyte is not signed to him long term. That don't make any business sense. He's not going to do that. He could have done it, but he's not going to do it because he's thinking about his own pocket. He's thinking about his own situation. Yeah? So all these people acting like that Dylan Whyte purse bid was, oh my God, Eddie Hearn couldn't even fork up the money for that. I mean, please. Please, people. Please. Think about it logically. Why would he? For one, Dylan Whyte is not a pay-per-view fighter. He had one pay-per-view fight with Anthony Joshua. Headline pay-per-view. But it was Joshua that was the reason it was pay-per-view, not Dylan Whyte. Dylan Whyte by himself is not a pay-per-view fighter. His last fight against Lucas Brown was not pay-per-view in the UK. I hope the American viewers realize this. Dylan Whyte is not a pay-per-view fighter in the UK. His last fight, I think he only sold, 7,000, 8,000 tickets, something like that. And the arena that he fought in is like an 18,000, 19,000 seat arena. So he didn't even fill half of it. Why are you surprised that Hearn is not putting up 1.5 million to win a purse bid when the guy is not even selling, 7,000, 8,000 tickets and he's not a pay-per-view guy? And this is not like in the United States where you've got 300 million people. In the UK, there's 60 million people. And there's only so many people with a Sky Sports subscription. That's the platform that Dylan Whyte fights on. Sky Sports is a satellite or cable station. There's only so many people with that subscription. There's not 60 million people with that subscription. So it didn't make any sense financially for Eddie Hearn to bid, 1.5 million or more to secure the Dylan Whyte Kubrat Pulev fight. So why would he do it? Not signed. The guy's not signed long term. He could leave straight after the fight and join another promoter. He's not selling. He's not a pay-per-view guy right now. He's not packing out arenas right now. Do people even think about these things? Are they aware of these things? I don't know. Anyway, my bottom line is I have no long-term loyalty to Eddie Hearn or any promoter or any advisor out there because their behavior can change over time and their situation can change over time. Al Haymon is someone who clearly treats fighters very, very well, because very few fighters have complained about being with Al Haymon. Very few fighters. So clearly this is a guy who treats his fighters very well. But if he don't have enough dates to keep the fighters active, that's an issue. And if somebody else like Eddie Hearn comes in and he has dates to put fighters on these shows and keep them active, why not go there? Do you understand what I'm telling you? Why not do it? And there's a rumor, by the way. I cannot confirm whether this rumor is true. I have no idea. Yeah? It's just a rumor. It's what I've read online. But the rumor is that the reason Adrian Broner didn't sign with Eddie Hearn is because he actually owes Al Haymon money. He's in debt to Al Haymon. This is what the rumor is. And so, therefore, he couldn't sign with Eddie Hearn even if he wanted to. And putting Eddie Hearn on blast like he did on social media was just a publicity stunt. But the reality is he actually owes Haymon money, so he can't go anywhere anyway. That's the rumor. I don't know if it's true. What I will say is Antonio Tarver was, or maybe still is, an Al Haymon fighter. Antonio Tarver was having some legal issues, and Al Haymon bailed him out of the situation. Al Haymon put money in his own pocket and bailed Antonio Tarver out to the tune of, many thousands. I don't know if it was $1 million, but it was a hell of a lot of money that he forked out to help out Antonio Tarver. Did he just give him that money, or did he loan him that money? I don't know. But Al Haymon has been seen before to fork out money for fighters to help them when they're in situations that have nothing to do with boxing. Has he helped Adrian Broner out in a similar way? Because Adrian Broner's had plenty of issues outside the ring, which would require money, right? Adrian Broner's a very frivolous spender. He doesn't seem to be the most sensible guy when it comes to the way he spends and manages his own money. So it's not beyond the realms of possibility that Adrian Broner has found himself at some point in financial difficulty and Uncle Al has come in and helped him out with maybe a loan. Again, it's pure speculation. I have no idea whether that's the case. I'm just putting it out there to take into consideration. So right now, I think Eddie Hearn has a lot to offer fighters. At the end of the day, they can sign short-term contracts with him if they want. A 1-fight deal, 2-fight deal, 3-fight deal. You won't get locked in long-term. What's the problem with that? He's giving you an opportunity. Don't let patriotism blind you. The smart fighters will be entertaining Eddie Hearn and looking at what he has to say. And apparently people like Mikey Garcia, he's taking Eddie Hearn seriously. The Charlos apparently are taking Hearn seriously. Hopefully they're smart enough to work out a deal so they can fight and be more active. What is best for the fighters and what is best for the fans is what I'm most concerned about. Not what's best for Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn's rich. Eddie Hearn was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. I don't care if he don't make another dollar in his life. He don't need another dollar. He's rich. He's been rich. He was born rich. What do I care if he makes money? I don't give a damn if Hearn makes money. I'm thinking about the fighters. So if he has a situation where fighters can improve their finances, improve their market value, increase the amount of times they get to fight. If Hearn has that kind of situation, then I'm going to support that situation for the fighters and for the fans. That's what it's all about. If Hearn does something else in future, which I think is a bad situation, I'm going to call it out as a bad situation. I ain't got no allegiance to Hearn. He don't pay my bills. I care more about the fighters because I watch the fighters. They put their lives on the line to entertain me. I care more about the fighters and, of course, the fans because I'm a fan. Anyway, let me know how you feel in the comment section below, people. It's happening. I'm out.